Good evening, everybody. This is the local pundit. I am Paddy Power, and we have Aaron in the house tonight. We have just finished our match with Crawley Town. It ended 1 to Crawley Town and 2 to Wrexham. What a crazy match that was. The lineup was crazy. The match was crazy. Defense was crazy. So we have a lot to talk about. And something else that was crazy is the results of all the other matches. So, guys, I have put the link out there in the chat. So come join us, have your say. We already have James in the background, and I will bring you in just a couple of minutes, James. I'm going to go through the matches first, and then we will get into it because we have a lot to talk about tonight. So let's pull up the matches and see what happened in the other games. Okay, straight into it, ladies and gents. So Birmingham won today, and they remain at the top of the league. Wycombe Wanderers, that ended up a draw, wasn't Aaron? Yeah.
Yep. Draw 1-1.
Draw 1-1. They dropped 2 points to us. We are now 4 points behind, which is excellent. We picked up 2 extra points. Slowly but surely, we will take that second spot away from them. Stockport County won, keeping a 5-point difference between the two of us on equal games. Huddersfield Town lost a match 3-2 today. So they have dropped 3 points on us, 1 game in hand. And if they win that match, they will still be 4 behind us. So excellent play there. Leighton Orient is then in 6th. Charlton Athletic, Reading, Bolton Wanderers. Reading beat Bolton, I think, was the other score there. So that's good for us as well. Everything went our way, bar Birmingham. So, but we can leave Birmingham have the lead for now. We'll worry about them once we get to second place. But virtually every other score, every other match went our way today. And it was almost a good thing because we nearly drew this match. Which was horrible. 2 minutes in, we scored, Matty James. And then at 90 minutes, after taking pressure, they finally scored a nice little whirly up into the top right-hand corner. Howard went for it, had a nice dive, but he wasn't saving that. AO probably wasn't saving that, but he may have had a better shot at it. But it was right up in the corner. So take nothing away from Howard. He had a very solid game there. So how are you doing, Aaron? Happy with the game? Good. Not happy with the game?
Yeah, I mean, I thought our 2 new strikers looked really good. I thought Sam Smith really looked good. Wasn't much different than what I thought it'd be. Crawley are a heavy possession-based team. They will hold the ball and do nothing with it if you let them. And obviously that was Parky's game plan. I know Josh hates that. And a lot of people do, and I understand because it can be boring. But that's how we were always going to play that game that way. That's just how that game was going to play out, because they'll pass around the ball at the back and not do anything dangerous with it. Again, the one goal they got was an absolute worldie. I don't think you can blame that goal on any of our players. Max heads the ball out, it falls at the guy's feet, and he hits an absolute worldie from 35 yards out. I mean, it's just unbelievable goal. I thought we defended well the whole game. That was their one shot on target. I thought it was a solid defensive performance. Obviously, everybody wanted to see us do more going forward, but like I said, I kind of felt like that was the way this one was going to go. Just that's how we always play against them, just because they're a heavy possession team.
Okay. Let's say a little hi to the chat and everyone in here, and then we will bring in James, and we also have our second guest lined up there, Hugh. I'll have you in just a couple of minutes as well. Not too long now, and we will have you going. First for Glenda. Welcome again, Glenda. You're taking a lot of firsts these days. Dan Moore is in second. Bruce McFarling is here with a nice little comment. Put that in your documentary, they were saying, and then 5 minutes later, yeah, thanks, I think we will. Okay. Brian Burton is in the house. Ooh, more parky nonsense from Brian. Okay. A to Z is here, mentioning the 4-point gap. Nice. We have just taken 2 points. Hip Karma is here waving. I may not be staying for a venting session for 15 a.m. We have people all over the world tuning into us. We are very international, and we even take guests and fans of other teams. Just be somewhat polite. You can have your say as well, even if it's not something I might like to hear. But just don't be an ass about it, and we're happy to have you. Hughes in the background, as mentioned. Kelly Davidson is here. Stephanie. Nick is here. Have I missed anyone yet? Patches 006. And he's happy about Lee up the town. Yeah, absolutely. Lexi Correa. Dakota Mike is here. Okay, we might answer this later. I'm just wondering why we have to wait until the last 5 minutes to find our attacking intensity. Okay, good on you, Mike. And let's do the other one at the same time. A2Z's response, Mike, our game management is quite shite. Nice and straightforward there. Michael Wolf is in the house. Robbie Evans. Behind bars is here. Loads of people in the house tonight. Gordon Grola is here. Great result overall. Sarah Pritchard. Esteban is in the house. Elizabeth Jones. Goofy Splat is here. Blank Canvas is here. And I think that's everybody. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Sorry if I did. So let's bring the guests in, because this is not about what I say. Not too much anyway. I'll still give you my opinions. But you do hear me regularly. So let's bring in James. Hello. And
what's going on, guys?
Hello.
Hey, guys.
Welcome you.
Hi.
Good. We can hear you both. Okay, James, you are first up. Start the ball rolling. What do you want to say?
First off, suck it, Cardiff City. Y'all took it. Y'all got raw dog by Leeds City 7-0. So, Aaron,
I used to be a Leeds supporter in the early 70s, so I like that.
Aaron, you're a fellow American.
Okay.
Aaron, you're a fellow American, so you're used to this saying. Your good offense is better than good defense. So I'll take us going forward versus us sitting and absorbing all game long. Like, and even if we're gonna absorb some, I'd like us to pressure more. That's one of the things since Graham Potter's got hired on at West Ham. We do sit back and absorb some, but when they try to play possession, our strikers and our midfielders have started pressuring more. I would have liked to have seen our guys do that more today to force them to do something with the ball and force them to make mistakes. I freaking hate, trying to censor myself, us just sitting back and letting them ticky-tack the ball around. Like, let's force them to make a mistake. Like, let's not just sit back and absorb and absorb and absorb and absorb. That is a Phil Parkinson thing. That's a David Moyes. That's that generation of managers thing. And it drives me bonkers. There. That's, for me, seeing this today, this match, and the rest of the season, I have said for this transfer window, I thought we need reinforcements up front at striker. We've done that. I thought we needed help in the midfield. I still think we do. I think we need further reinforcements at center back. Still do. I now know we need help at the left wing back position. Mac is not going to do it. He needs to come off the bench. We need somebody that can provide a crossing and scoring threat from that left wing back position. If Phil is not going to give Ravon a chance, let's go spend $2 million and bring a championship quality player to that position, and let's give Barney some help, because he's got 4 defenders on his ass every time he touches the ball in the opposing team's final third.
Okay, Hugh, do you agree with that? Do you think Parky sits back too much once we score away, especially?
You know, it's happened before, hasn't it? It's happened before. We played Cambridge at home. We went away to Bristol Rovers, scored an early goal, and they scored right at the end. It's happened before. So, you know, I was listening to Josh giving the the second-hand commentary, but he's doing well. And he was getting frustrated. They did well early on, but they went, you know, for 20 minutes or more just defending. It was going further and further back. There was corners, there was missed shots, and you could tell there was something could happen. We only had one goal ahead. And then it's obviously a tactic, because as soon as they scored, we went the other end and scored ourselves. So why couldn't we got 2-0 before, you know, they wouldn't have scored probably, you know, it'd been 2-0 and over. So I'm wearing today my dismal Jimmy hat for Mr. Parkinson. I was slightly worried about his tactics, you know, but well, all right, it's all done. We won 3 points, great, no problem. Great for the neutral, but for a Wrexham fan who's seen us late goals a number of times recently, it drives you mad. Like Josh really could see it happening, and it did happen. So
yeah,
we're quite
Aaron?
annoyed, but it's you know, a good result in the end. But I think we need to do it a bit better, you know, because you know that tactic has worked, has it? And we got off, you know, out of jail there.
We got out of jail there, absolutely. Aaron, what say you?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I don't disagree. I just think Parkinson was always going to play it that way. They're a team. Crawley, if you look through some of the results, they're a team that you'll see a weird 4-3 result, and it's like, how the hell did that happen? Well, what happens is a team goes at them and tries to play more offensively, and they cut through them like knife through butter, just because of their passing, and it's so good. And they can score goals. And so I think Parky, I'm going to say, and I'm not saying this is right or wrong, I'm just saying I think this is how he had approached it. I think he thought they're going to have a harder time breaking us down and scoring than they are if we play open and try to score goals. You know, it'll be easier for them to score. And I think that was the risk he took. I think it's how he likes to play that way. I mean, and to be honest, you know, that's how we played against Birmingham, and we got a great result against Birmingham. You know, we got behind the ball and defended like crazy. So I think that's what he wanted to see. I think he wanted to see the team defend like crazy today. I thought they did. I thought the defenders were really good. I thought Mark Howard didn't have shit to do. You know,
in
there
general,
there was one shot on goal, and that was that 35-yard fucking wonder strike.
I think we could have played more. I think we could have played more of a mid block. Like I was saying, we could played more of a mid block against these guys and force their back line, you know, more pressure on them and made them make a play. And then if they got into the midfield, and we you know, we let Dobson, Matty James, and our back line be the rock solid defenders that they can be. But I think our front guys.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Another thing, though, I mean, you talked about the midfield not being that attacking, but eventually our new signing, Mr. Longman, he put a great cross in. So maybe he's the man, you know. He did it when he had to. But, you know, he should have been doing that before. You know, the tactics, there was obviously tactics there. The thing is, that tactic has failed a number of times before. Cambridge at home, 2-1, 2-2. We scored an early goal at Bristol, let one in right at the end. There's been some others, I think. Oh, yeah, there was the away match. Well, that was a bit unfortunate, but I still think there was bad game management at Charlton as well. We got a 2-2 draw instead of a 2-1 win. So it's
Yeah.
not the first time. There's 3 times where it's failed. And we dropped 6 points that way. So, just put 6 points on us, we'd be top. Well, we'd be in second place, maybe.
Right. Continuing on that theme, because we have a question here from Chris. Did Longman earn a start with that last minute cross to Lee? So what I saw from Longman today is potentially he's not amazing at the wing back part of the job. But he did put in some lovely crosses into danger areas. And that was excellent. Now, he's different to Barney, obviously. He's brand new. So to me, it looked like he was just dropping the balls into danger areas rather than actively aiming for the heads. And I think it worked. Sometimes I think Barney tries to be a little bit too accurate, getting it in for a perfect header, aiming at a player, whereas Longman simply looked up, dropped it into danger, and aimed for everybody else to do their jobs.
Yeah, Longman is, I'm going to put it in front of the goal, and you guys go get it.
Yeah. So what do you think? Will we see him start soon?
Yeah, Barney needs a rest.
Well, I hope
Barney
he
needs
can start wing back. He can start in the midfield on the right or left, or right possibly, because, But I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, he's got to, because I don't think he's a wing back. He's a forward. He's definitely a forward. Well, proper forward. He's played in the front three, apparently. Before.
Well,
So he's not a back.
Okay.
He's not a defensive player. So,
but sure, Aaron, would that not necessitate that it's a change of tactics? If you're playing Longman, you want him to put crosses in from the wing, but you don't want him to play the defensive duties. So I don't think that's going to happen.
It's the case for 4-3-3, 4-4-2, which we don't expect from Mr. Parkinson, unfortunately. So there's a problem there, I think.
Yeah, I agree. You got to remember we got to give Longman some time too, because he's been playing a winger. He's not been playing wing back. So I don't, which is probably why he's coming off the bench and not starting. I think we got to give him some time to develop, get used to playing that defensive role. I mean, obviously he looked great going forward. So I would still like to see him on the left and let him cut in on his right foot, because he's really good at that when he was playing on the left wing for Hull. I would like to see him do some of that. Me personally, I don't know if Parkinson wants that, but I would like to see that just to see what happened. But yeah, he's definitely
it's great.
He's definitely a true winger. As Hugh was saying, he's a winger. I mean, he's so to play him as a winger, we would have to change our formation, and I don't see us doing that.
Yeah.
Do we not? Do we have the personnel to play a box in 4-3-4-3?
Yeah, we do.
Well,
we could.
Okay.
Yeah, probably, but let's not go down the road of making up tactics that are not going to be used.
No, I'm asking if we had the personnel, if Phil wanted to, if we could play.
Probably, and we're at least pretty close, I think.
Okay.
I see your point, Paddy, but the thing is, you've got to tailor, the formation to the players you've got, not the other way around, and try to change the players so they're playing well, doing what they're doing. That's a bigger job to convert them to something else.
Well, but to be fair,
he's not going to be a winger.
But to be fair, Hugh, you got to remember, Barnett came as a winger and wasn't great defensively when he first came to us. Now he's arguably the best wing back we have. So
he does have defensive lapses from time to time.
True.
Okay, so moving on.
He expects to learn going on, but this Longman, he's a bit older. He's worked out his game, and that's what he is.
But either way, if he's going to be a wing back, he needs time to build his defensive duties, whether he's older or not. It's not his role, so he needs time in that.
He's not that old. He's 24.
That's why I have a problem with him coming off the bench for the rest of the spring.
Okay. Right, guys. Moving on a little bit here. Dan Moore is one I wanted to bring up here. Wow, no celebrating a win. Ye gads. Okay, so yes, I'm smiling. You can see I'm smiling. I'm going to enjoy the conversation today, but we won, and I said, and I said before the match, I said I don't really care if we have 3/4 of the match is horrible, but we pull out the points. Right now, it is more important to have the points than to have any style or any nice football or anything else. Right, that is the important part. They
Yep.
did it. So let's take a few moments and just speak about the team in general and their resourcefulness and never die attitude generally that we see, and these late last minute goals to pull it out. Because it is true we have lost matches with late goals and defending. However, the flip side of that coin is we have also won matches quite late with pressure. So let's just stick with that positive for a moment before we move on to our next topic. So what do you think, guys, about today? Lee, let's start with Lee on that kind of. He pulled the goal out. And we've already mentioned Longman with the cross in.
Well, that's one of the pluses of the squad roster that Phil has built is they are an absolute professional squad team that does not quit. Like you could see whenever Crawley Town scored, they were like, cool, we stopped them from getting the 3 points. We've got a point. They kind of took a deep breath and relaxed, and Wrexham was like, nope, fuck this. We're fixing to go get this point back, these 3 points back. Like they don't take a deep breath. They go. That is one thing I like about this team. Like they go the full 90 minutes plus the extra time. They don't take their foot off the gas. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that we have to do that versus we go get three goals, 4 goals, whatever, and we make them chase us versus that drives me nuts. But for me, this is constructive criticism. My cousin, my distant cousin went and got us the win today. So I'm happy with that.
There you go. Yeah,
well, you know,
I think. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So that's great. We can come back. We can score late goals like other teams can against us. So we can deal with it. But for it to, it's happened the wrong way for us recently as well. This last month or so. So let's not go road and defending too much later on. It's very risky. You've only got 1 goal. Score 2 goals and then do it. Easy, man.
What I was going to say, Elliot Lee, in his regular role, he comes up with a late goal, which is what he does. That Lee playing in that number 8 role, coming into the box late, is where he scores all his goals. We talked about this the other night.
Yep.
On the show. That is where Elliot Lee needs to be playing. He is so good there. I would be absolutely flabbergasted if he's not starting there next. What is it? Saturday is our next league game, I think. So I'd be flabbergasted if he's not starting next Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was going to do today. Like him and Ollie at midfield. It's like them two chase. Like, oh my God! Like, good luck stopping them two.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree.
And then you've got Smith and you've got Rodriguez. Like, it's going to be a plethora of goals because Elliott's going to catch anything off the rebound. Ollie's going, Rathbone's going to catch rebounds, and then he puts himself in great positions. Like, that is a championship attacking.
That brings up a good point with the 2 strikers. What'd you guys think of them today? I thought Smith looked outstanding.
I knew he was. That's why I've been begging for him to get to from the beginning of the window. Like I told Josh when he started getting the day before he got signed, and it really started looking like we were going to get him. I told Josh, I was like, let me know when this happens because I want to come in and say something about it because I've been harping on getting him signed since the window opened. I was like, we need to go after Reading striker. He's on a sorry team. Sorry, rating. Love you guys. I hate what's happening to y'all. But you put him on this team, and we're going to go up automatically.
Yeah.
Because he's been the leading striker or the leading goal scorer for League One for the calendar year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Guys, we have some new people in the background there. If you don't mind, if you want to have any last say, and then we'll pop you out and bring someone new in. And anything last?
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know what I didn't really comment on strikers, but I'm really glad that we brought in quality. But anyway, yeah, I can't say much on it, so I'm happy to bow out. But thanks for letting me come in and say what I think. Well, I'm still pleased. We're all pleased. We won. No problem. Way much as well. Great.
Thanks very much, Hugh and James, and we will talk again, certainly. Take care, guys.
Bye, guys.
Now, new to the show, first time caller, Patches. How are you doing? Welcome.
Hey, doing well given the events of the end there, but it just felt like we were waiting to give up that equalizer for about 85 minutes.
Maybe slight exaggeration, but certainly the last 20 were really nervy.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, it was. But the results speak for themselves. Like, you can look around the league. So yes, we should be happy. Absolutely. The one thing I will say is I hope that Parky takes this to heart when he rewatches the game, that when we're up pressing in that middle third, especially, we can turn the ball over and we can be devastating on attack. We have the quality to do that. So I don't know how much more of a leash I'm going to give, Parky from a tactics standpoint, as we get into the deep part of March. He has the team to go up. I firmly believe that. And he needs to be able to deploy them in the manner that they're meant for. He needs to evolve, right? So happy with the results, just not happy with the tactics. Anytime we were on the ball, we looked aggressive. We were going down the right side too much. We need to be more balanced in attack. How he sees that left side with Maka being on suspension call for another yellow card, he needs to figure that out. But it's just not enough. Away form is terrible. So I'll take it any day of the week. I am happy. I'm celebrating. But I tell you what, when we gave up that equalizer, I went back. I went back to so many games previous of giving away points, and it felt like it was going to be another one of those weekends.
It certainly did.
Let me make this point. I understand what you're saying, but there's so many teams who have brought in a new manager. Birmingham being one, there's a reason Birmingham's in League One this season. And the reason is they had a coach very similar to Parkinson who had them in 7th in the championship last season. And they fired him because they didn't like his tactics. And they wanted to go to a more attacking style.
Absolutely.
And they got relegated because of that style of play. So it's not always, we could go, let's say Parkinson changes his mind tomorrow. Like, you know what? We're going to attack everybody. Would you be happy if we started playing that way, but then started losing a ton of games? I don't think anybody'd be happy.
At what point do you allot it to luck, though, Aaron? Right? I mean, it feels like we've been getting the rub of the crystal ball a little bit more in our favor this season, and those things even themselves out. So you take another, as much as we want to complain about Charlton giving up the late free kick that then led into the penalty, there's opportunities here that we scrape it away. Do we want to say that that's because of our gaffer's interventions, or do you want to say that that's just the luck of the rub? I'm still to be decided on that. Like I said, I am more than happy on the away. I would have been, honestly, given our form, I would have been happy taking one and, seeing a new foot forward. Taking 3 just seems like a steal. And at some point, we have more away games than home games. We need to figure out how to have more impotence when we're on the ball. And it just seems to me that we're not on the ball as often enough. Should we really be giving Crawley 60+, percentage of the possession? At what point? At what point? Does that mean we're going to be given 80 if we make it up to the championship? That doesn't seem like a recipe for success. So things will change if we get up. I completely, will lead with that as well. But yeah, I want to see some inspiration out of this team. And when they're on the ball, it seems like they have it. I just don't see the team enjoying being off the ball as much as Parky wants them to be.
Yeah, I can maybe balance this a little bit. There is a difference between going all out attack, and leaving yourself completely defensively vulnerable, and just continuing the attacking momentum that we start with until we score that first goal. I guess the point is, why are we not trying to continue that attacking pace until we are 2 up? And then you're a bit more comfortable. And that if they do get one back, okay, it's less time. You're not going to spend as long a period in a scenario where one goal drops you 2 points. And that's kind of my opinion as well. Because you have to ask yourself, what is the difference between home and away? And for me, it's the pressure that we put teams under. We seem to immediately go into a defensive posture once we're ahead on the away teams. But we don't do that immediately when we're at home, because when we're at home, we expect the second goal and potentially the third goal. And it's later in the match where we can kind of rest on our defense a bit more. But we don't do it immediately. We scored after 2 minutes today. At what point did we start getting defensive?
And almost scored a second in like 5 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah. But let's be fair. At what point? Certainly halfway through the first half, we were already allowing Crawley to start the stage.
20-minute mark, Patty. That's where I noticed it. Is that we started accepting pressure? We wanted to win more balls in the middle third instead of the front third. That first 20 minutes, it felt like we were winning balls up the pitch, but it was as a collective group. Our distance between our forwards and our midfield was a lot more condensed. The whole system was moving forward. That's why I question the tactics of it. It seems like it's almost like an accepted move back, and we'll just completely give up that front third. And I saw that at the 20th minute.
Yeah. Okay, what else did you see in the match that we haven't discussed yet?
I don't know how much do you guys want to jump into Mac on the left, because I saw him more as a left back than a left wing back. We had one opportunity in the first half from the left side. Now I missed probably the last 20 minutes or so, but up until that point, I saw one attack from the left, and that was Rathbone coming all the way over after just being on the right side, probably 5-10 minutes before that on the sideline to help with a little buildup of attack. I feel like we're asking too much right now from our midfield to make condolences for what Macca can't offer, either whether he's not willing to, being on that close to a suspension, or if it's something that's going on in Parky speak of being like, hey, just sit back a little bit more. You're not going to put yourself in vulnerable positions. But I didn't like the lack of attack on the left today.
That seems like that's been that's been kind of a season-long issue this season. He hasn't. I think the step up into this league, he struggled. I think his pace, he lacks a little pace to be playing there. But he is good defensively, and I think that's what Parky likes about him. It's a tough one, because it's you can put Revan on and maybe give up a little bit defensively, for some attacking threat, or maybe try Longman over there. But it's a tough one. I understand what you're saying, though. I agree that we've definitely lacked attack down the left, and that's something that needs addressed at some point.
And look, at his best times, Macca has delivered that for us. I mean, go to the first quarter of the season. It seemed like it was 2 chances on the left, 2 chances on the right. Mac was delivering great crosses. He was so far up the field, but he was taking yellow cards match after match. So I just wonder at what point is he being told to sit back, versus being the player that he can be in that position. So I out there to be said, but I just juxtapose it against the fact that he has that one yellow card sitting until he has to be suspended. And as any player, I wouldn't want to, leave my feet off that pitch. And he rolled a car and he didn't want to leave his feet off that pitch. So it's not as much against the player, I think, at this point, but he does lack that piece of his game that made him effective in the beginning part of the season.
Yeah.
A comment here from Gerald. I want your take on it. I got it here. Okay. Geez, you're actually complaining about a win because it wasn't pretty enough. Stop it. Now, first off, I don't get this comment. Because as far as I'm concerned, I haven't heard anybody talking about it not being pretty enough. I'm talking about tempo of play. Our tactics, our style is not pretty because it's just the way it is. And I've no issue with that. I've no problem with the style being what it is. I'm not looking for pretty football. I just want more attacking intensity, and I don't want it just for fun. I want it because I think it'll lead to better results. We put ourselves in danger by going too defensive too soon, is how I see it. What say you guys to this?
Yeah, again, 3 points away. Like, this is one of the best away performances as far as points total, we've had on this season. We have to be happy with the result. Look around the league. Absolutely. But the unfortunate part is that we're chasing Wickham, and we can't sit back and hope that they are going to give away points. We need to take it upon ourselves to be the team that we believe we are, and, have away wins. And I know Nick Donnellan in the chat, if he's here, he would probably agree with me as well. And he pulls up right there. But that's the whole point of it is that unfortunately we're not sitting in second like we were halfway through the season. Crawley is a bottom league team. We need to find away wins. This is one of the easier ones. And to watch us give it away after we looked so promising in the first 10 minutes, that's where the questions will come from. But I, by no means am complaining about it. If we look like this all the way to the championship, great. But if we don't get there, where do the questions start coming from? It's just more so to ask for the community, things that I'm mulling about. Don't feel, pressured that, we can't talk about tactics or anything else. It's there. It's there for us to see. So, why not comment on it? But at the end of the day, I'm drinking another Guinness, and I'm being happy that we took all three to Crawley and seeing the results around.
Patty, you want to go through some player performances?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Just looking quick look at FOTMob. You guys know I like to use FOTMob. They've got Matty James as our man of the match. Now I'm sure that's driven by his goal.
Yeah, partly.
What do you guys think of that? What's your thoughts on that? They got him at an 8.3.
Ooh, that's significant.
Yeah, that's a good rating.
Yeah, he did well, and he pushed up when we needed him to. He did kind of get into attacking positions. I definitely think it was one of his better matches. Yeah. Yeah.
It was a good bounce back from the last game, because I did not think he played well in our last game. The Stevenage game, I didn't think he played well.
No, and he had a lot of defensive responsibilities today too. I mean, as much as we talk about the goal, I saw him, back in our 18, more often than not finding blocks, especially late into that second half. So, it takes a second, because like you think of Matty James, he's more of that role player that we play out of, and then just makes everyone else more calm. But to see an 8.3, I guess, yeah, thinking back on it, he was in a lot of good places. I thought, Dobson, I was confused having Dobson and James starting today at the same. I figured we would go with like a Cannon or a Lee to, put more attack in there, sure. But Those two played. I think they both had really good games. I don't know how many times I can say that. So maybe something's being figured out there.
Yeah. Let's see. Rathbone, they had rated at an 8. He had the assist on the Matty James goal. What do you think of Rathbone today?
Solid as usual. I'm really starting to like him. Definitely that position is his, I think, for quite a while now.
Yeah. I'm starting to get into the territory. I think he's probably our player of the season right now. I don't know of a player that's consistently been better than him. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
He's heard. Yeah.
I think the comments I used to say maybe last season about Lee was that he is generally super consistent. He never drops below like a 7. Even if he doesn't do anything amazing in the match, sometimes he is always very consistent and on it. And I think that's kind of what I would say about Rathbone now. He's pretty much getting to that point.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's go to the back line. They had O'Connell rated at an 8.1. What you guys think of O'Connell today?
I think 8.1 is maybe a little high, but he had some very important headers and defensive duties. And yes, he got out and got maybe a bit further forward than I would want him sometimes. I don't like my defenders that far up when they're not actually attacking for a goal, but that seems to be what Parky wants, and it seems to be what he's doing. And I guess now for the near future he will be in that position until he makes some big mistake.
Do we have the stats from what Brunt came in with?
Yep,
because I'd be interested.
7.2.
See, like that's
I would have thought, on the eye, I would have thought Brunt would have been the higher of the two for sure.
And that's what I mean, right? Like if you flip those, I'd be like, yeah, O'Connell had a great game. 7.2 is a great score.
Yeah.
Like on that, but to see Brunt lower than O'Connell, I'm like, whoa. The haircuts must be confusing the statisticians.
No, see, this is where I think O'Connell gets a lot of stick, and this is what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. He does things that it's not necessarily always seen, and it just looks normal, and it's actually does really good things. I know Josh got absolutely pissed off about the yellow card he gave up. But he gave up that yellow card because he had to come over and cover for Cleworth. Max got beat.
Yeah.
And he had to come over. He come over and made a professional foul and saved it.
And that's a spot of the field that we've taken fouls all year. And it's, for me, it's a little bit dangerous. I would rather see that play develop a little bit further along. But from everything I've seen this year, especially against Charlton, we took the same tackle against Charlton when they were breaking, and that was from behind. So being more, like in front of it, hate to see the yellow card, like on it, but it seems like that's the point of the field is like, if there's separation between midfield and defense, like we just need to take that foul. So kudos to him for not thinking twice about it, because, another step late, he might've been beaten anyways. So yeah.
They had Max rated higher in Brunt, which I find hard to believe. They had Max on a 7.3. Honestly, and Josh, you just put it up. Josh said Brunt for the man of the match. I would have been happy with Josh Brunt man of the match. I thought he was fantastic today. He was great. Won all his headers. He was fantastic, I thought.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Obviously, our strikers weren't rated super well. What'd you think of our strikers, Smith and Rodriguez? What'd you think, Patches?
Yeah, so I mean, we had our chances early, but like outside of what happened from a goal, expected goals and everything else, I will say Rodriguez playing, like up to, when did he get subbed out? Was it at the 75th, 80th?
Yeah, 70th or 70th, something right in that ballpark. Yeah,
I think that's great time for a guy that we're asking, is he leggy? So what he showed is that I think he demands more service, which is the running joke of our whole front line this year. But What I will say is that I think that it provided a sense of quality and comfort up top. But more so, Smith was everywhere. I didn't see as much as J-Rod as I would have, quote unquote, liked to. But he got himself a great opportunity, and I think that's just because you're playing off of the player that Sam Smith is. But Sam Smith was all over the pitch, winning headers, getting up in places that he shouldn't have been. Running on to the right side for Barney, in instances that I haven't seen Palmer, really, produce this year. So it gives us a little bit more pull in that. So I think Sam Smith just has a head about him of where he needs to be to pull opposing defenses apart. And I hope that is the case. But early returns, yes. Again, it's Crawley. We're away, so give that, but it's Crawley.
Yeah, one thing I would like to say while I think of it is the early shots that came in from Barney and led to the goals and chances of goals. A lot of them were flat, low crosses into the box, which Barney does not have a habit of doing. I would like to see more of that from him and mixing up his play more. I really think it would be effective.
Yeah, Patty, on that, we had two great chances early on, first 15 minutes, and it was Barney playing off a Rathbone. At first, I thought it was Sam Smith. I'm like, who is this person getting that far into the opponent's box? Only about 6 yards down from the touch. And it was Rathbone coming in, but it was a great bit of diversity to what we usually see. Rathbone gets it, he plays that one out to Matty James. But there was another instance of doing the same thing, playing that floor ball and then watching the defense just overreact to a ball being put into the box. And I think with Sam Smith there, if he can make some more runs, questioning runs, down that, inside channel, we should be able to find another opportunity or two that we hadn't had before.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree.
Here's one for you, Aaron.
Yep.
And Josh.
Palmer? What did he score? He may have been scoring a 69 while the game was going on. I'm not sure. He was busy.
Shots fired. Ouch.
He was doing a different type of scoring, I think. I don't know. Did anybody in the chat? Were you at the matches? Was he there on the bench, or did he travel with the team? Do we know? I'd be curious about that because I haven't heard that either way. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, Aaron, I saw earlier in the chat somebody talked about him being at home in London with his family, waiting to hear on the move. But that was the only I saw.
I think that was just a bit of a joke.
Just a joke.
I think so. Since we're talking about players, let's talk about Howard versus AO then. So we've got another match from Howard, albeit he didn't have a huge amount to do. A, how did we think he played? And then B, differences between him and AO. And should AO be coming back? Or should Howard be taking the spot temporarily?
I think there's pressure on our goalkeeper to be able to play the ball at their foot, because this is the worst I've seen Howard seem around the ball. There must have been something going on in the background about the communication, because this was the more disjointed. I've seen it with Mark Howard in goal. Now, we saw it with AO in the previous game. This one was questioning as if there's more being asked, like of that communication. There was one or two that Howard absolutely should have been on. Absolutely. At the same time, I say that, I don't know if AO would have been either, because I've seen him sit back on his back line. I don't know what's going on around the 6. I just want to see it cleaned up. But other than that, Howard stopped what he needed to. The goal that was scored against him, from what I hear, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, he made a good attempt at it, but there was just, no chance. It was a quality finish, and fair play to that. But he didn't seem as comfortable on the ball and playing out of the back as I'm accustomed to him. And so I don't think there's much loss there between AO, which I would usually criticize AO for.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that Mark could have done about that goal. I think that was a beauty. I think just dipped into the top corner. That thing was beautiful. You can't take. I don't blame anybody for that goal. I thought, like, you could say Okonkwo may have had a better chance of getting to it, but that was top corner. I don't think Okonkwo was getting to that unless he happened to be standing right under it when it came. So yeah, other than that, I did think I agree. I think his distribution was a little shaky today. That was one thing I said before the match is, his distribution has been better than Okonkwo's, but I don't know if that was the case today. I thought he was a little off. Maybe it's just because he's been out for a little bit. But I don't know. Yeah, he did look a little shaky today, but I mean, as far as everything else, I mean, he had nothing to do. I mean, it's hard to be too hard on him. Yeah, he was fine. You know what I mean? I think he was fine. There were several shots where they put shots in that weren't necessarily on target, but he was there. He had it covered. The one that looked like a save early, where he saved it wide to the right. The ball was going wide. It wasn't going to be a goal, but he got to it. You know what I mean? He had it covered. Yeah, I was happy with Howard. I do think I still feel more comfortable with Okonkwo in there for his shot stopping ability.
Yeah.
I understand we want to send a message. I would probably still be surprised if he wasn't starting next weekend, though. So, yeah, I would say I'd say Okonkwo still definitely our best keeper.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely agreed. Maybe one match away is enough to shake him up if that was the reasoning. Maybe he did have a twinge or something, and it was best to rest him if possible. Who knows? Maybe. Josh is saying, what's your Josh? Three keepers wouldn't have gotten it.
Yeah, that's right.
It'll win goal of the match. Okay.
I need to see it. I was driving at the time. I saw the concession, and I was like, no.
I think that's the definition of a thunder bastard. It was just. I mean, it was beautiful. They had a really cool angle on it on Paramount Plus where they were behind him, and you watch that ball just go up arches, and it just dips right under the top corner. Just beautiful. It was beautiful. 35 yards out. I mean, it was just unbelievable goal. Unbelievable. What else we got, Patty? Anything?
I think we covered most of it, really.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's much more. James is in the background, and just before we finished, he wanted to go a little off topic and just mention the cop. Okay. Because we mentioned that before the match that the image has been released of the potential cop. So we can have a word on that in a moment. But guys, just quickly before we kind of come to an end here, is there anything we missed? Is there anything really important from the match that we should discuss? And then we'll take a couple of minutes on the cop, and I think that will be it for today, and we will all go celebrate our 3 points.
I think I don't think there's anything else. I think we covered it pretty well.
Yeah. From Matt, Callum Burton is the best all-round keeper we have. When he joined, he was told number one spot was up for grabs. Okay.
I'll be honest. I was really impressed with him when he played.
Yes.
I think he's better. I don't know that he's quite the shot stopper, but boy, he ain't far off. He's a really good shot stopper too. So Matt may be onto something there. He might be the best all around. Unfortunately, I think he's out for the rest of the season. So
yeah. I really liked him. I said that a few times as well. Definitely, I think he was a very good keeper.
I will say I don't think he had as much leg on him though. I don't think he can kick the ball as deep when we're trying to get the ball deep into
That's
their
a
half.
perfect thing. That's a perfect thing, Aaron.
Yeah,
You don't need to kick it deep. Keep it on the ground, please.
Well, Parky likes that thing deep. So that would be the one. I think that would be the one thing that I noticed with him. He kicks the ball deep, and if it touches the halfway line, he's lucky. So that would be my only negative on Burton.
Yeah, I'll just add, it looks like he's more aggressive going towards the ball. So I feel more comfortable with those balls that are being thrown in around the 6 and 12, that he's going to be the guy that gets there.
Yeah. Gets it. Yeah, I agree. I'll agree with that. Yeah, controls his box better.
Sorry. My mind when I'm just listening to all these words, and it's the child in me. I'm just thinking horrible thoughts. But all these things Parky's doing. Hey, look, I'm immature. What can I say?
Yeah.
Sorry. So, guys, I think that's pretty much it. So, if you want to say goodbye to everyone, Patches, I'll pull you out. We'll pull James in. And let James have a say on the cop, and then that's it for tonight, and we will see you after the next match, guys.
Absolutely. Hey, 3 points is 3 points. Let's be happy. Let's celebrate.
All right. See you, Patches.
Thanks, dude. See you later. Bye. James, you wanted to come back in and talk about the cup.
Okay, so I may need you or Aaron to do me a favor. I know y'all got the image for the cop.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up here.
Okay, if y'all can do me another favor, type in and look at the University of Texas South End Zone.
Okay.
Okay. Populous designed the University of Texas's new South End Zone. We just recently remodeled that. Okay, so that's that little sneak peek. Which that's beautiful. I love that. University of Texas, DKR Royal Memorial Stadium, South End Zone.
Okay. Populous. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So you want me to bring that up first? Okay. So let's pull this out for a second. Right. So this is the image that was released about potentially our new cop. So obviously we have the Welsh Dragon coming out in relief.
Now that is a render
from the brickwork. Yeah, it's a render, of course.
That is not what's going to be the.
Yeah. Understood. So this is what's been released by the club, and we're expecting more on Monday. Potentially we should have quite a bit more to look at. But James has just bounced off there, so we'll give him a minute to come back in. But what James asked me to bring up, I will do now. So let's stop that screen and now present.
Sorry.
You're okay.
I had a phone call come in.
Okay, so this is what's come up, yeah?
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
That is the rendering, but that is also what the finished product looks like.
Okay.
So, Populous also did the Moody Center, which is our new basketball arena for University of Texas. They are great at their designs.
Yeah.
From my understanding, not only is Populous going to do the cop stand, but every other single remodeling that is going to happen at the race course, Populous is going to do. Everybody that is in here that is from Wrexham, y'all are going to love their work. It is quality work. They may take a little longer than originally the timeline is done. The cost may be a little bit more expensive than originally estimated, but the work is world class. You will not complain about it. They will make sure that everything that Ryan, Rob, and the community wants is done.
Yeah. I did have a look at some of their other work, and I don't think I found anything that I didn't like. In general. I thought it was all pretty much good work, very high standard. So yeah, I like it. My understanding though with Populous coming in is that they would have the basic designs for the entire stadium done now, because they were reworking it to understand how they would lay it all out so that it connects together.
Right.
So it might still be rough early stages for the other stands.
Right.
But I think that was part of the work.
I've seen it on social media where everybody's going, "Oh, well, is Populous just designing the cop stand?" And I'm going, "No. They're doing the whole stadium. They're doing the whole stadium."
Yes.
And so I'm wanting everybody to understand the type of quality of work that is fixing to happen to the entire race course. Like you see this, and just the south end zone at UT at Texas was $450 million. So, yeah, I mean, we got a little bit of money to throw at one side of our stadium, but
yeah, not that much.
I even tagged our athletic director in the post where they had the concept, and I was like, "Trust me, Wrexham fans, you are not going to be disappointed in the work of Populous. Is that not correct, CDC?" Which is our athletic director, and I'm waiting for him to reply to that because he's very much interactive and he loves promoting the companies that have worked for the University of Texas that have done quality work. So,
okay, so we can all look forward to these new designs and a much better render that we can see coming most likely tomorrow. So guys, I think that's on that bombshell. We will see you all soon. Take care, guys. Enjoy the 3 points. Bye.
Have a nice weekend, everybody.
have a nice weekend, guys. Up to town.